Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome back to Air Radio. Sal Yeruna Spin today, 8 March 2021. We now bring you the news from Pangil de Gambia, as usual, Monday to Friday. The bulletins in English and Mandinka. We start with Standard Newspaper, the headline. The first story on Standard Newspaper tapping into diaspora skills to strengthen healthcare systems in the Gambia. Defense Minister asks Assembly to increase Army's budget. Veteran politician Wajware dies. Lawyer claims testimony obtained under duress. And then IEC reboots UDP's claim of illegal registration. A Gambian commits suicide in Germany. DARBOE warns bogus voters against voting in assembly election. So those are the headlines from Standard Newspaper. Let's go to Point Newspaper. Point Newspaper. Barrow applauds 1,000 plus UTG graduates. Then future of Gambian progressive politics lies in the hands of parliamentarians. IEC opens nomination for parliamentary aspirants. GPA, Gambia Port Authority, reacts to allegation receipt duplication scandal on social media. NAWIC and partners inspect work at Brikama Jabang OMVG substation. Good morning, Mr. President. On NA election, war in Ukraine, cost of living, and Brikama market. The national news down is not yet updated, so we'll back there and glance it after this session. So we start with the first story we want to start with, that is IEC. IEC reverts UDP's claim of illegal registration. This one by Omar Bah, standard reporter, read by Hajalong Air Radio Salgeruna, Spain. Now the details. The Independent Electoral Commission has denied opposition UDP's claims that it illegally registered people outside the official general voter registration period. The opposition UDP on Friday accused the IEC of monumental illegal registration of voters in complicity with President Barrow's NPP, reacting to the allegations in an exclusive with the Standard. IEC Chairman Ali Momor Nyai said registering people after the registration period, where how can you say A and B are registering people after the registration period? How is that possible? Because immediately after closure of registration, all the materials are sent back to head office. That is not possible. He added that when the voter registration started, we announced it and ensured that the parties had their agents at all the registration centers. And after the registration, we pasted all the registered voters list in an open place, but there were no complaints. How could they wait until now and start saying people were registered after the registration period? That doesn't make sense. How can you be out there and see people being registered outside of the registration period and you accept it? If they have proof, let them bring it out. Let me see it. People registered under the 3 minutes. Chairman Njai said the party's claim that people were registered under 3 minutes is ridiculous. How is that possible? How could anyone just get up and give somebody a voter's card without taking him through its verification process? It doesn't make sense, he said. Election. The IEC chairman said Gambian elections cannot be rigged. Nobody can rig elections in this country. You see, people should know that the whole IEC, from myself down to the gardeners, we are just about 72 people, and we engage over 600 6,000 people rather. We cannot be everywhere. This is why we impress on the political parties to always send their people to monitor the process. And during the last election, we did not receive a single complaint, he added. IEC spokesperson, speaking earlier to the Standard, the IEC Communications Director Pamakan Khan said, I have to say that the Commission is only focused on conducting credible elections for the Gambian people, and right now all our energy is focused on that. I don't think we should be distracted during our mandate. Pressed on whether it is not prudent for IEC's on credibility to clear the air. Khan say, I think we have gone past this because all these issues raised should have been dealt with by institutions. The revising courts happened and there was a court case. Why should we respond now? I think this is just a distraction so I will not respond to any of this. That's why reacting to your opinion, that's your opinion, and that is history. Now we are moving on. It ends the second. Don't go. We'll back momentarily after a short jingle in Mandinka version. Ya sama mali ngono kal konto al token don al konto kendo na follow kibar kon la after sinana dun kibarol kono be men karan kan santen ila details ol fana kibar kon follow men findita e standard wala ko diaspora skill comme métier ol ten kamol ninda la pour se bambandro ke mun healthcare jata kende a Kenya la o system o nyin Gambia banko kan wala class o be kere o karandro ka continue men mata na tanko bunda minister yin defense ako na député bu se kodo la fa bake de pro isnana na ami yin isala koli rwani no nyame yo politician koto ba men ka fay wajuara ko amin jiodo atan kunu belenga je men finta social media ala so kono brika loya fana nyim fof ko abe men itandi kan wolen atla cliano ay cdro men di men ko asotata jure onda jures ko men nina ta jibe e anyanta kila nyamen asala fonko nyin ketawol to ala testimony wala mu CDA ka continue IC balanta UDP bi même fo kan ko ye molu register le kabrin election nyin botala ko ye ko fani andile ani fana dinno do fana famfa fa jamani banko kan kola fana dabo ana diamu mol yego mol ikana na karro fa yin election o men kana nin député carte fa député ol men election la carte fa imang education ka fay nyanta ka men carte fa men kan ka against comme carte nyanta fa la men ko carte fa ka against ko kana carte fa ka men bogus voters should not vote in this assembly election comme ay dan la roke wala ngata point ni se bala kibar follow ko baro e bulo ko si graduate men ni londo soto gita karamuto na karamon ba memu UTGT graduate yata e bulo ko si wolien yo national assembly la ke banyi ngai men fa ko Gambia la nyato taw ko men political la karola o ben bulo ko no wala mu itol député ul fawt bari ni e kuol ka nyaaro matron salon ko politiko nyimbe bete ala banko kan aiti na karte fa korda he nomination membe denning parliamentary aspirant la karola yo fana yela GPA ul fana bayro ke mamante diamuta ko molbe tungro min ke kan comme social media comme nyin duplicate registro me ka mol jorndale ka ko doble la jibo kon ya ko nyin diamutala nawe wala na krambo anin jio men be marlala la substation on be brikama inin ila partner solten tata je ka je jibe do ko men be ke kam substation on membe denning na nyim banku dantamal men ka fota nyim station bala damo men be gine ka fay OMVG yo ko in severla ko isama na president ba comme nina ta jibe na National Assembly anin fanan kelombe Kurania anin fanan na Gambia banko kan ko balu be jawyarin je nyamen comme anin fanan brikama marse o nyim fanan nako adiamta alale to inel mukibarol de men finda point is ngata nga kibaro men karang kibar mamaka follow di bar nga dati mento wala mu IC ye bayro men ke comme UDP be men kalame kan ko ye molle safe carte fao e buko nyin kono kabrin abotala men safe Umar Ba men ba karang kala jala ba yar Lisbon banko cancel sa ko nga continue independent electoral commission ye ibalanta itul comme opposition patio me ka fay UDP comme ye kalamiro men ko itul ye molle safe carte fao ko la men wato tambida hotumo carte fay mo safo nyin tambida ba continue ko yin opposition UDP jumalunga la ye tumiro la IC na katre fay korda kan komen of monumental illegal ye komen ye komen ke membe loring abe mobe nyaba la komen ina ta jibe saferola pour katre fay la karola komen da kunta mento inin president Adama Barola patio men ka fay NPP bi jabiro ke ka wato men yin tumiro la komen ni nata exclusive komen inin standard with diam kan wato men na IC la kiamano men fang barta jema Aliou Momor Njai ay nyim foko ko registration même keta comme mol after the registration period ako omu fenneti ako minto ay nginin karo ko wala ko yin kam même foto comme yes to safo men ke kaprin period banta ako minto ay UDP nginin ka wala ko o how can you say and be ako to ibo fono la nyadi le comme eni bito kaje ko munna mol safe mol after ngin registration la wato tambirin kola la ko be keno la nyame aketa minto ni minto ako yo ako niana ajibe fanan ako be keno la nyadil ako katu ko kabirin nin fonko soronda do registration soronda drong jorang menu ka to ko kala ke be murundi la office ba ngineto I mean dante ako that is not possible ako in kamen photo mong possible o to keno anatna la faro ke men fanan wali inda ako kabirin voter registration o dajita ako to li kankularo ke le ko pour ka je ko pour mon patiol be tout isnana isela agentol comme men fana bina tarla je korosiro la moli dawe ke la nyin registration o kono dinkral to tar men central to ka anim fana after registration anim kabirin registration o banda fana ko inatna registering voter listo ya pass ya pass le listo ya janjanne anim fana open place comme kenabato bari nako dia wa no complaints comme men bijeto mo klinte je men diamata ko la men so rasota ko how could they so munat ne be batla fo sante ne yajibe anim fana taji ko ka dati ka kuma fo membe ko mol waya registered after the comme mol ka fo comme mol register ka ben registration wato nyin tamit ako that doesn't make sense ako manke hakilma different ako how can you be out comme is definitely nyadi there and see ye kol jebe be tama ka nyame molbe mol register kan wato men register wato nyin banta wato nyin isonda kola ako nin ata if they have proof come nata ye fence to member itan la ko ketal ko let them bring it ya samana and let me see what if fasaji comme ye performance to yo samba ya samba nyatlu ngate aje wala mo ati Aliou Momor Njai comme mol la register Kenya la comme militi sabo kono diamato fana la kiama Njai ay même fa ko patiola clamiro mi aka foko ye mol register militi saba kono ako fenneti ridiculous omu kumalti men mo manyanna ko natna tende fana ko how is that possible ko be keno le nyadi how could anyone ako mo killing ba keno le nyadi pro ka mo ka register kato di molla imang ala documental verified ko ben ka jibe process of nyanta kala nyame ako nyum fenneti fanan fonning hakilma manta men dante diamata election fanan karola ko iko yin IEC la chairman na men fa ko Gambia no laying electional men ka keteng mota sunya no la ko mota ni aka buka sunya no mota sunya no la ko na Bangkok ako niaje ako people should know comme ako altul mol alaje ay nimu fenati al nyanta men lon na wala nginti ko that the whole IEC comme IEC mu meo kabatela fo men ka ila nyamol jibon ka me cardinal anila fulawol men ka topoto ako ni ya kafu nyoma mo tawro wala nin fulawol be do ko la jeto anin fana ya jibi tul ila do ko ka do ko ke meni mo wuli woro wala 6,000 people Gambia Bangkok ko ka continue fana ko tol itina tarno la dlinkrabe do Gambia Bangkok kan wati kilon la ko there is why ako this is why quote men impress on political parties coming kala quote men political party la karola ko menje ni pro wate don ka foe pro is a mol kina men sike korosirlati ina da gibe nyin ko be tamaka wato men na the last election coming election moment tambita den ako we did not receive fanan ko imam kuma kan nasu membe ko single kalamiro karamat clean imasot no kabring registration of botal kabring election no botal I mean la fa kuma kan ko IC la diamula fanan diamutal de we men fo abe diamu ko wato men na karan no lokun men tambita den ko standard ani bi kacha kan wato min lanin tokinyolo men martame ka ma me ko pama kan ko I men for wala ngindo ka ko ati I have to see that kama men for la wala ngindo commission ni will be degree inside men kan ron ila election credibility kama ila election ni abe beti ala nyama abe kallanki ala nyamen election la karola for the Gambian people it will be concentrated wala kan pour Gambia ding wala saji ko election kallanki ron soto tiling la karola ni kokurni anim fanan and right now something all our energy ko la sembo baby minki kan wala ngindo to be dikrin wala ka ako I don't think we should be distracted ako ma mira pour mo seto la do ko murundi ko mala ko men yemendi la mandate to nyen ko men abidiam kan press water when whether it is not prudent ko fo ko e press ko men ay nyin yitan ko on whether comme fo ñim mu fenati diamo to ya ngin kawla fo not prudent comme hakil to la carola ni nata IC ifango la credibility wala mutul la credible mol bi lale la nyamen to clear air pro nyangini kawla pro sinana fanyo kono senandi mol yate pa makan kan yemen for akwati ama jigi ko we have gone past this comme ñimu fenati ama jigi ko bogolo because ñimu kuleti tambitale ñimu kuleti mi atambitale comme should have been dealt with by the institution comme ñim ko fennete ñanta ka diamud lalto damen beko institution koton wala beko même ko revising court men aketale mari mo man claim jeto court case ni karola was court case kono why should we respond na side binana puruka jabero ko kol ako I think akate me mira wala ngente ko this is just a distraction ñimu fenete puruke to laddo ko murunde ko mako so kamala I will not respond at jabero kila kokurunina any of these communion kuma men forate ako that is my reaction wala mu atla jabero de nyum kodo anasi menkeno fanan nyum kodo la mama la carola nina ata afanga la miro le ka men to yo coming ito la miro la coming ila opinion mu la opinion the reaction to their opinion is their opinion como ito la mira nyala o ito la gir nyala ako that's your opinion mula opinion that's your opinion mula opinion coming nye me angin ka ngin la opinion mendi yole ka ani fana nye angin ka menna o fanna opinion mo de purat la jabiro la karola ni ko la kwate men foto wala nyimu fenneti dai ku tambirin na mi ka minna tariko ko sang itol e be takam munala ron be korre fo men nyato sikan pro sinake bole e be digrin wala ko kam no mina nyato do manni da bo fana diamo menke National Assembly mol menu manyan na ki imurunde député bongo bari kumota na wala nyim BOGUS vote sol against assembly elections. Welcome back. Still with Sunday newspaper, the headline, DARBOE warns bogus voters against voting in assembly elections. This one by Omar Batu and read by Hajadam Air Radio Saljeruna Spain. Now the details. DARBOE warns bogus voters. The United Democratic Party leader, Hussein DARBOE, has advised all illegally registered voters to refrain from voting in next month's National Assembly election. The UDP leader issued this warning Friday at a new conference call to expose alleged electoral fraud by the NPP and the Independent Electoral Commission. Emphasizing his point to journalists, DARBOE said all those who have been registered outside the registration period should refrain from going to the polls. In fact, we will take further steps to name and shame them by publishing their photographs, voter cards, and numbers. DARBOE 1 asks whether it will not be unethical to display people's voter cards. DARBOE said, I don't know what will be unethical about exposing fraud. I need to be told by moralists or by people who really are conversant with ethics and ethical conduct, because for me, even if Mr. Almami Tal of UDP is involved, I don't see any reason why he should not be exposed, he said. He argued that exposing such things will send a signal to others so that in the future they will not attempt to get into anything criminal just to acquire a voter card. So all those who, especially in Kulari, outside of the registration period, conspired with the IEC to commit a crime. This is nothing like allegations. It's about what I am saying, because all I am saying, I base it on their own documents. So it is real, and if they deny it, let them come out and say the documents we have are not correct, because after all, some of them are signed by the IEC chairman himself. DARBOE said. Tribal bigotry, he talked about that also. DARBOE said the amount of tribal bigotry demonstrated in the run-up to the last December's presidential election has never been seen in the history of this country. The election was a census of ethnic groups, and this government is responsible for all that. They are bringing tribes to lock heads and made them underrate each other, DARBOE said. For example, how is it possible that in some areas of URR with sitting UDP names, yet their party leader Hussein DARBOE could not get 15 votes? Clearly, only tribalism explained that. And then you go to some other places and realize that what Hussein DARBOE gets there clearly demonstrate that this country has been destroyed, the UDP leader lamented. He said the same thing was demonstrated in Mandinka domination areas like Masembe in Cliam. I had more votes there because Mandinkas are mainly there, but that should not happen, and I should not also lose in Fula dominated Sibito just because I am a Mandinka, and likewise Esa Fall should not lose in Masembe just because he is Wolof, DARBOE lamented. National Assembly election. On the National Assembly election, Mr. DARBOE said the UDP is preparing candidates and the party will not let the National Assembly be hijacked by the NPP, because if we do that, we will be doing a great disservice rather to the Gambian people. After all, when we have like-minded people assembly and form the majority, this issue of the register can be dealt with. I will throw this idea at them so that the register can be sanitized. So the UDP will be filing more candidates than any other political party in this country, he said, voting in assembly elections. So it ends the station. Don't go away. We'll be back momentarily after a short jingle. Ya sama madu nga continue kibaro mbata men karana sante ngindo mo kuma ka onte membo da UDP la nyaton ko ya mem lo ya usenu dabati komen headline o nga fanyamen amang traw nyama komen abe mella komen mennie karte kato soto ma soto silo kan komen wolu mo molel men manyen na kana ke dake molla karte fawo kono komen ati ay BOGUS voter so min wala manke komen men ka voting ke député Bung Nyinto comme député but he is referring abe men foka ngolen mo men yin carte kato soto ma soto silola comme after the period of registration abe wolella wol nyante fan jam fan la na carte fawo nyinale ni fanan ko sikeno ibela natalol ni itoli findin la dunia be yaje ay men dante bo sikeno la puruke malundi. Yo sai ka continue kibaro mi fama memba kono Umar Ba wala sa standard la ki pripura memba kran kan la jalama ya to Spain banko kan sal sata nyin kono ko ben ali hakatu ko men headline on nyin mang dung details so kono bari comment ron ay man jam fa nyol bari National Assembly carte fa ko wala mo diamta wala bari ko men allo men kan wala mo menye carte kato soto e ma soto silo kan wala la mo foka manke National Assembly député fa men ka carte fay agents comme Coleman kage député bon non yo ma continue dabo ay min dandala wala nyim BOGUS carte fay la teten comme menu manyana carte na carte fay kato nyin manyana carte na buko kono carte fay kato so to first place wala BOGUS comme ida manyana ka kunje bari to manyana ka fay they are not eligible. United Democratic Party la nyaton ko memu UDP anatana na diamu nyin kolla ko men ka dandaro ke o molla men manyanna ke data ke dadundi Gambia la nyin député carte fawo men kanate to kamala kabara dandaro ka men potron wala nyente abe men fo kan ko nyimolo manyanna ke daka je fere kos binana simvatal de comme nyin kola nyajibe membe ko nyin illegal voters will take. So nga continue kibaro nyi hanibi ay men fo wala nyinte ko abe ate usen dabo abe mol ya marla ko mol men ye safi nin silo mante ka men illegal voters register ko isa kata ye jamfa ko kanana ka na yin karte fa men minaten karo men kana membe ko député carte fa men kanate ko nyaji be UDP le nyaton ko ko the leader issued ay safaro ke komen ko fi kolla de membe denning dandalaro la karola arjumalung daming ay news conference ke ay kumandro ke ko ate abe nyinu men tumirol men ke ten min tapale akota abe expose lale wala be wanyar lale ne ajibe jumalel multi wala mo NPP anin na bankola carte fay korda nyin la commissioner electoral commissioner ka continue a yin quota a senior di bake comme a emphasize itan di jeto ko ate bulo chode kam damen to ni ajibe East Point to the journalist ko men abe men fo kan full fangla ni ata journalist olia DARBOE men fo wala ngenti ko all those who have been ko ye molmen be register ko men carte fola registration o wa carte registration o wato nyin kolala ko nyanda kala molelti men ye jamfa pour kata molla carte fay sansa to kata carte fay jako in fact na ako nyim kuleti men we will take further step binana simfa dol tala nyato de comme membe ko itolo anin kayata ke fintindi ke malundi comme molten ba itandla ila photograph ole natalol ten ibe tol ni la natalol be fintindi la prusi malundi nyame men nyim voters ni la voters card number fanan men benna registration buko nyin kono DARBOE dandla ro ke menna o mo la karo ladna ko isa kata e jamfa na kata fa sansa la kata fa wato because in further step ni maybe natal te back akelal pour que mol wanyar ke mol ya nginin ka weda fo mu fennete nindo ko la silol tarala bang ko pour que mol tol mol la voters card ta ko display ka itan ko DARBOE men fo ko ate amalong what will be unethical mo be kala o membe kala do ko la silol nala tan nyalti ko me ka men ethical do ko nyanta ka ke nyamen hormone bunyani anokono ako puruka mota mo wanyar min ay tapale ya dronek ako I need to be told ako nyum fennete atebe la frem pro iso fay bay moralist comme molmen ye teleoning jenkolon moralist wari momen manke moralist o bokalo min tilinta anim min jenketa to nyala karol ako by people who really are conservant comme molmen ya long comme molle mutika in dokul ka ya lonna ka maran nyanta kala nyamen ya muta nyanta ke nyamen comme ethics comme dokola sartol be lari nyamen nyanta kala nyamen kana na kusa mananjeto membe ko dokola tandrinya le ka mena ethical conduct comme nyanta dokuo kala nyamen o daji ko la karola comme meniol long o meniol soto comme fomi comme wolsina ke molti men so kuma kan fa sinala la ko even if nara fan Mr. Almame Tal comme le diamula nyin fanin Tal comme UDP comme membe UDP dabla tan ko kon ako ayate man ko lege dayle je memba tinna Almame fanin Tal ita to findin la ota na talo findin la purka itan ni mola barata tapala ya men so kamala na balangina ko that exposing such thing comme kanyin wanyoro ke nyim festival ako nyim be kala fennete o be kila la kila o signal o purdo kotangole men nyato la sinaje ko na pare la purukata kanyin kusi fal ke wala mu yin criminal quality just purudron kanyin voter card nyin soto ako so ukamala all those who registered monen be yes na buko nyin kono especially kiankular wato men yake komen registration banding kolala komen inin IC kafta nyoma puruka kujao bara banko kan wolem commit a crime luatinya ako this is nothing like allegation ako nyi manke fende komen jalairolem o kajafirolem o tumirolem ako about what I have seen ko abe menfo kanta ko katu ko niagibe all I am saying abe menfo ko wolenginte in I base it on their own document akati ka be menfoting nimbe degree itul fongla kaito lela itul IC mol fongla kaito abe kuma kango membo be fo kanta wala tinna ko manke tumiri kanta ko so it is real nyimu fenneti mensorta anim fana if they deny ni balanta let them come inana ya foko in documento iman correct iman tilling I mean that ko kat ko after all kabiro be botal some of them it will kono sign comme in documental men be wol kono dol beje IC fong la kiamano ata fong le wol sign o documental men ka foten nin kol men kedata nin fraud men o documental la karola ata fong le wol sign nadna diamo nin kuma kan jawla ka men tribal victory comme siol la karola comme sinon ka kuma kron fo siolma dawo men fa ko ni agibe tribal victory comme si kaja fo men keta Gambia banko kan waitan roke ko in the round of the last December President Carter fa men tambita den nyum keta feneti men anamanan soto Gambia la tariko kono mumeke bankoka ako nyin election no men inarna lo kule kan census comme control ko fenna membe ko ethnic groups wala mu siol anate a digita wala kan ya census siol la kan membe ko control anim fanan and this government Mansakunda Nying is not responsible for all that go omufeneti ethnic groups, and this government is responsible for all that kuma nyi Mansakunda ambesiring wala responsible to call bari isa stop nol bari ma idaka koto yemolbula ka ta ka boy seal kan ka kuma kurun fola nyi president Carter for men tamite ya diki men kan comme census of ethnic groups nyi ethnic group wala this was a census of ethnic groups. So I continue hanbi for example like onina la kula misalo la ko how is it possible like abe keno la nyadi ko in the increment be ko men be ko URR Upper River Regional Nyindo daming UDP la dibitole be sirinje ako hano patio nyin at be min nyato ngala usenu dabo among hansi karte kese tannen lulo soto o denkrangendo ako membe senare wala nginte ko olle min kata kule kan wala si fatan fanso I mean fo not tenten fana ko and then you go to some other places it had anim fana it had black cotton to isaje ko that coming usenu dabo I mean soto membe senare ayitan droge fanan ko that nyimbanko has been destroyed na banko nyin tata la tatinyata aka min dande tinyata UDP la nyaton ko ayin ko lamentle ko men kitay kulete ni ko ya warta ani fana kitay trema kuti na tende fanan ay men fo wala ngin the same thing ku kilon la ni nata men yegi tan droke ko men ni nata man nin ko li dam siata dam de ka men man nin ga demonstrated areas ko men membe ko kiam ma sembe maseme ko ati linkral to itandro kete jetole kol ko ako I had more votes coming ati katekisi jamala soto katuko mandinkol coming many olol siata jeto bari ni ajibe ako mu fenete o manyana kala in first place coming ako should not also lose in fuller dominated areas coming wala nginti ko amanyana fana ati ala keman ningo da pura na fo fulol ma fa la fulol siata damen e ka fa damen ko sibito ako amanke fenti fo ate ala keman ningo ko nina da karakota ngo fanana membe ko esa fal fana manya na ka fo ma kiamma sembe because katuko esa mu surwalti dabo men itandi ko men kita le kulati men mo may illa men ma anin terema ko diamra election of na député Carter fa men kanadin ako ni agibi na ni député Carter fa wala karola monsieur dabo ay men fa ko UDP be parindro ke kan candidate la député le mentala la patio nyin ko itol to sonna mume ke National Assembly pour moliata ka haja ka busi la menbe ko NPP katuko ningata if we do that ninata ngoke ako wala ngende ko we will be doing a great this service wala ngende e be kule ke ka men mampare ka do ko ke pour mun na ron Gambia de New York. So after all no be tambidala ako when we have like minded comme ning ngani soto comme hakilo men molten ninata pour mun na mol men be tarlan na député bongo ngol soto ngol we have like comme mol soto men be ko hakilo yiriwata National Assembly nyindo pour jama soto jeto ako nyimo feneti this issue of registration of men ketatem be men fo kante can be dealt with is diamono akola National Assembly nyindo nim fanan kaje ko we will throw the idea even ate ako akate be anala miro anin kolmen ferol men ate men sigi koti amembe betiala so final kanne pro karolade that the register can be senators pour na yin safarinya men ka kenna na registration buko yin dasis hasano nyama betiano nyame akoso kamala the UDP will be filing binana kaito de lala more candidates coming candidate jama safela sainten than any other political party coming. To Lebesiala, Gambia political party or party be UDP be men file when the little la Carola Kaito la Puru IC to let have Siala. Party cotton be Gambia Banko Kang I member and infana ko voting in assembly election coming wale nyin katre fa men Canadian deputy katre fa nyin so marion akanda lo mina kibar kilim bol la fala nyin kan because time elapse kanan soto sinaje ko se soto no lafta men folali alhikaro ko men ngenda jinglo kala je for the time in what minute so let's go ahead with it. Welcome back. Now with point newspaper. The headline: GPA react to alleged receipt duplication scandal on social media. This is a press release. Read by Hajar Mayar Sal now the details. The Gambia GPA management expresses concern over the trending allegation making rounds on social media that allegedly involve certain staff at the rating unit of the authority who are said to have duplicated payment receipts, resulting in a loss of revenue. In media dispatch, the authority wants to inform members of the public that whilst, whilst whistleblowers information raised an issue about signal of likelihood of leakage. Subsequently, the matter was raised and discussed at a management meeting held on Monday, 28 February 2022. Immediately, precisely on Tuesday, 1st March 2022, a memo was issued constituting a three-member committee excluding the affected department to investigate the drop in handling revenue covering from 2020 to 2021 and report back on Wednesday, 16th March 2022. Apparently on Thursday, 3rd March, an alleged multi-million dollars scandal broke on What's on Gambia, inciting the authority. This remains an allegation until proven by the outcome of the investigation. However, four staff suspected of the allegation have been interdicted pending the investigation outcome. Meanwhile, it is instructive for the public to know that the GPA management has since early 2021 stopped all cash collection at the ports and all importers have been paying at the bank, GT Bank. Further to that, arrangements are underway to have the bank produce the delivery order DO, which is released on the DO before payments are made. The port digitalization project also envisages online payments to eliminate all associated risks. Management assures the general public of its resolve to get to the bottom of the allegations swiftly and then take the next appropriate steps. it ends there. Stay tuned. Don't go. Back momentarily after a short jingle in Mandinka. Yo sama badon ma continue about law men lafta kani ndol ka funyoma membe dening na Gambia Port Authority scandal men finda jini wato kono yela jabiro ke walal so adun kibaro nyin fango kono membe rakaran angle count of Sunday membe dening point la kibaro mo press release la de point ya sia wolto ko GPA ma ifanandi amata kolla de komen tumuro me ya la leka munina ata recipo komen ne ko dojo kaito men dila komen dol ka de la fulan jankele ka men duplication o scandalo men kede je wacha me caring social media comme ye memfo ila carol ye jabiro ke woltol kibaro memba kran kan lajaro ya radio spin banko kan sa na YouTube channel to nal dunta ali subscribe ali follow ali ase anina Facebook page ul bito ka continue han bi comme ngina be kala kibar sabanya men kaflanya kabrin kibar kongol botala ka ga men kilometer ni time on so man time on so we call it a day pour do ko tan fana bari comme ngela briefing kala kibarol men findan na principal newspaper to men be ko standard aning point newspaper angaloni manika kaunto so ngamen la details ko kara wala mum fulati sai sabanja on be wala kono ten GP la scandal on be keren social media e ko GP ko men ila management men be marila ko la yengin wo tale de ya bambandi membe ko to la sulola membe denning membe yayi kan ni nata tumiro la karola social media wala jama la bang bunda to ten ko tumiro membe keren ko molle bulata in tapala ya kono membe ko la dokula ka damen rating unit men ka fon hayma ala valorum menti ka man rating ni o ron ka fonta ka jibe ala valorum menti o authority nyinto ko niaji be ñun ya foko ñun ye duplicated payment to kaito ye wolda wala kaito fula ko wolda membe ko original o anim men ka duplicate o ka ketol fontaldi se o dida ye mol jorndi wala o dolto ye o bule la jibo kono tuta banko la keso kono o ni original o dode da men fa man sakunda ta ye o dida o sita man sakunda la keso to but ni man la fi man sakunda o kodo so ka banko fonda le to kay tala dida ila duplicate o nyin ye men copy ko wala dida o mari yole wole o kodo jo tolia ye o bule la jibo kono comme tumiro lamu amange ko kulemu abe lorin folo ka continue ko kamala len ina media dispatch comme ito lain dinkranin e commandro ke porumona kachala carola en media se media soto golem tron kanyin ko itandi molla ninata kibaro la carola comme autority to li nyaton ko lefta menato pour kalam tandro ke jama be la ko ni amoy whistleblowers mol men kay kuma sifal fintendi ten nyin kibar sifal men ka wulindi ko about signals comme ninata ye bulo sigandi moye kay ko membe kere ka itandala comme likelihood comme ninata ken daji ko la carola o taranyala men kata nyin likejolti comme nyin kayti sifal men ka findite comme ka men nako signal of likelihood of leakage comme men kol ka finti karala nyin kusifal menu karrantan la imanyana ka ke bari ni bankola kodo samba karrantan la kuleti men ama silota o kamala ni mo signal olti comme ninata pour information o pour whistleblowers kalam tan droke molla men nyanta ka ko jibe o kamala ko be kolala mum subsequently comme nyin ko nyin men nata wulindi nata kachala karola etol fon me maralin o kita meeting de bengola soto men kitene lungla karo tilimwan anin sewala february nyin karo men tambitaten nginan sa kono katabaki kabring o lungla na talata lungla men kita nyin maj karo men ba kono tili kilingula nginan sa kono comme na kaito dida men itan roke comme kadida roke molla mo saba ka bena member committee men bisnana gibero ke nyin kola bari wol kono mo kilim mambo in department o mo rating department o nyin mo kilim mambo wol kono nyin mo sabol min ye ta pour kanyi quota ka kiskis jeto ko ni ajibi to investigate komen ka kiskisro ko fenna di drop in so handling komen kola bantala fengol men ka findi handling nya min kana ke fendi ka men revenue covering komen banko kan na famen soto fengol to men ka jo wala karola kabo 2020 kata 2021 in investigation on na the drop in so handling komen ko men commanditens komen jela karola ni nata maranyala komen yin revenue wala banko ka nyatan ko men soto karol ka kiskisro ke wala kabring 2020 sang kono kada fo 21 serin sang bandlala reporto inatna na murne kanne arabalonga ben karo men kon tili tang anin worola inan sang kono kome yela kiskisro men kore yen committee men tate ko continue apparently be kolala on Thursday kabring aramis alungla ko nyin karo tilisabo match karo nyin ko niaji be tumuri kote fana finte de mengi ko million dollar sol scandalo kita men fintita ninata kiwar bunda to membe ko social media kibar bunda ka fay ko what's on Gambia ko men wol minana in dictin ko men italanyin authority nyin karol ko this remains comme nyum hanbi yimbe dinkral to comme to mirole mo niaji be ko janni ba fola by the outcome janni kuma bina fintla nyin kiskisrombe kere nyin koto o be niaji be ila dokulal meni sobite la mentata fo monan comme nyin tumiro kala yol tale ina nana wala ko nyin ya ila do ila where suspected of the allegations have been interdicted comme na loi londila karolale mbe ko membe denning kola o kono wala bu kiskisro janning abe banna membe findila jeto ko yin tembola ne ajibi it is instructive comme diro que la fengola o iba fola fanan ko sa fotron fen diro que la kuma kan la ko membe ko jamaa pour isa lonko itola yin institution ila management o men be marlama GPA comme kabring 2021 dati folola ya die fonyale puruka kodota membe ko port ila importer la jomen molka joro men ke importal te men ka fengol dundina banko kan ko yo stop le ka ta bulo kono o residon nyon ku ko la bari aka kenya di le wala muy kata jo giti bankle anim fanan ka tenten ko men o joro nya fanan na da ku le ko on the way ko men betama kan ko banko nyon fa to sai ni na tagi be the bank produce the delivery order banko ka kaito dila kaito men ka itandi ko joro keta gele ka men DO which is the sources document comme wala mu documentoti comme fon soto da damen revenue ni men jota banko GP eco sodle kabo banko bulu comme nin joro keta jeto ka men DO o kamala ko this is being discussed comme keta fenneti ya kachale ya jibe sipin olan agentol ten agency ten comme men ka fon samanan men be marling nol ka fengol men samanan la officer nyin ska men sipin ingis who normally come ye men bula somebody men authorized release on the DO come sinana kaito bondi kaito membe ko nyin DO before payment o kaito niyo bondi nan janni be joro kala yo landi o kaito nyin kanana ka joro ke isnaje ko banko nyindo ko di port digitalization ko men ka porota ka ke comme internet system on yinte wire comme project also comme call kono minata men call bol kono men online wala isa keno bisiri la computer kuna yela credential use membe ko credit card o bank account number comme online banking payment o isa keno sai poroto call la le men hani man move inoto isi la fengol sotole yala kaytul soto kaytul isi sikano isi deliver no through email la nan ko ko don la commencer administration o be kata nyame comme link ole mu emailol linkolem emailol so inam koti ko itol ninkum sa yo system o soto port authority le ning do fanambe tama kan walam ya o authorization o di shipping agency le kamen jorobe kala nyame o kayto ko ka continue imu kuletron pour sinaje ko jorola karola sinana dandro keno fenna memmina denna mantorola bankola kodo kad lik kata karakotel ko to lain management o men be marlen poro nyina ya yitandi ko the general public olen jama of its resolve comme sita ka kol to ben nyame pour mun to jaddi bottom pour ka futa nyin ko down to duma pour nyin tumirol men be kering anana ka je ko dan take the next appropriate step comme binana simfa koton men tala wo kolto ni ngata abota men dalama ye men dante so ala baraka annal badi malaja da malem ya radio spin banko kan sal sala kono bi mi danna janne follow sinana murna nyaado ning atra ala sonda bari koku jong ka ala le bloko na sonda kumen na rong oka kela naman so meno oka skeno haje ko te bule ku lafta ku do kela ma keno ku ko te le ikam to ala dan rong fo ala si na movement do nyin aso sabatindi ala kanana abusim bloko no so dua ma dani abulo kala baraka